Alright, so this is a 2003 Suzuki Eiger 400. I'm going to be changing out the petcock on it. This is not the original. The original looks like this. So the big difference is this is just your normal petcock with on, off, and reserve. This is actually off of a Raptor 660. I forget the year. So in this one, you have reserve PRI, which I am not sure what that stands for, and on. It's got a diaphragm on the back of it, and there's a suction line that comes off of this to the carburetor. The reason I had changed it out was we went to start it up, and then we ended up with 2 inches of fuel in the air box here. And it was flooding out extremely bad. Originally I thought it was carburetor, so I put a new carb on it. That didn't fix the issue. So started looking into it, and apparently what happens sometimes, and what happened to mine, was this diaphragm must have gotten a pinhole in it, and when that happened it was sucking gas through the diaphragm back into the carburetor and flooding it out. That caused all sorts of issues, like having gas in my oil. The reason I went with the Raptor 660 petcock and attempted that is I'd seen some people had luck with it, but mine was not so lucky. Also, by going with that one, I was hoping to eliminate the issue happening again, and this is also a $120 part, which is ridiculous because I got the Raptor one for like $15. So I'm going to start working on replacing this today. I've had all this apart before, but you'll have to bear with me because it's been a while. Alright, so in order to do this, we gotta take the plastics off, which is one of the reasons I don't like working on four-wheelers, because I hate messing with these. So bear with me as I fight to get them off. Get this off. Hopefully that's all I need to take off here. Unfortunately, now I gotta go to the other side and get that side panel off, because those are connected to the cover for the gas tank. So I'm going over to the other side. Small over here to get the rest of this cover off of the gas tank. You got a Phillips here and a Phillips here, and then there are 2 small Phillips there because you actually have to take off your shifter. There is also your gas tank cap that ends up in the way. So we're going to go ahead and get these Phillips off. Move your handles out of the way. You see this switch here? That's for the fan. The family member I got this off of, he was having trouble with the sensor kicking the fan on, so he just went ahead and moved it to where it runs off of the manual switch. Now, this is probably the best thing for getting these off. You can use a full-size screwdriver, but it is a pain. Now, next step will be over here, Mike. Alright, I am going to have to drain the fuel out of here. Do it into this bucket. Alright, so we got most of the gasoline out of there. There's still going to be a little bit, I'm sure, that will spill when I take this off. You got 2 bolts holding it in. They're both 8mm heads on them. So a 1/4 inch ratchet. It's probably the easiest way. See if I can't hook up the suction line before I put this in. I'm going to actually see if that hose that we have taken off for the main fuel line will work for it, see if we can figure out where I put it at. Check the size on it. That should work. I'm just going to trim off that piece that I made the slit in. That'll buff out. It's looking like doing this, I'm probably going to go ahead and have to at least loosen the front 2 bolts in the gas tank so I can get up under there. So it should be 10mm. I'll be surprised if I can't find it. Easier for me. You come over here, should be able to see down here by my hand. That little outlet right there is that suction line where it goes. So we're gonna try to pretty good. Now back over on this side. Should be able to go ahead and hook that up to my petcock as soon as I get it in there. More than enough line to do it. Bolt started. Go ahead and put the tank back down too. Because hopefully, as long as I don't have to change the carburetor, I should be fine. Started. It's back together. The only thing we have left on the petcock itself is putting the fuel line back to the carburetor. I got this all clear. I'm going to go ahead and changing out the air filter. That one was new, but it did get soaked in gas. So, pull that off. This back. I'm not going to secure it all the way down yet, but I do want to get a cap over top of our gas. So, threw this back on, it's not connected yet. Mainly wanted to do that to get the gas cap back on it. Now, I'm gonna run, all I got left to do right now is run fuel line. This is not actually fuel line, this is air hose, which will not over time hold up to the gasoline. But I do not have the hose on me right now, and I want to see if this has fixed the issue. So I'm going to go ahead and at least get it partially hooked up until I get a chance to run to the store to buy fuel line. Alright, so I've got the fuel line on now. Again, this is just to test it, see what else I'm going to have to do. I did do a video that I put up the other day of me doing an oil change on it, but I held off on putting the oil in. So now I'm going to go ahead and do that. It takes 3.2 quarts of 10W40, but you want to make sure that the oil is made for a wet clutch. So we just finished putting the oil in. Check my oil level. It is good. Screw that back in. I'll check it again if it runs afterwards. Make sure everything was fine. So the next step is going to be putting gas in. And then also I got to charge the battery for a minute because it's been dead. Alright, so I ran to the parts store and I got actual fuel line in the correct size. If you come down here, I put some actual clamps on it this time. I'd used the gas hose. I did start this up a little bit ago, and when I did that, it popped off. So that didn't work out as well. We're gonna go ahead and start it as long as the battery cooperates. I have it on a charger right now because it does need a new battery. Petcock fixed the issue. I don't even think I need to replace the carburetor. I'm going to be riding it around for a while before I make that call for sure. But it looks like we got it. So now all that's left is putting on the plastics. And thank you guys for watching, and make sure you subscribe.